Hey guys, Yulia here. So this video will be a Q&A video, and I think I'm going to incorporate these about once a month, and I will call them Q&A Tuesday. And as personal as I try to be in this channel by answering all of your questions in the comment section below, I understand that with the growth of this channel, it will become difficult at some point. So I will be slowly incorporating more of the Q&A videos because a lot of the questions repeat, and I think other people would like to hear the answers as well. So today I'm going to go over the questions from the last 5 videos, and I will start with the paper whites, which is the latest video that I posted. The first question is from Judy. Just wondering what you do with the bulbs once they're done blooming, and also do they need light source? Do they need to be near a window? Now, paper whites come from a mild Mediterranean climate, so it's about zone 7 to 9. So if you live in that zone, after your paper whites done blooming, you can safely put them outside and they will probably bloom for you, if not next year, then the following year. And yes, they need a lot of light because otherwise they will stretch for light and become very, very leggy. So as much light as you can give them, put them on the sunny windowsill, or if you have artificial light, just put it over your paper whites. Now I'm going to move to the questions about the Japanese maple video. And I gotta tell you guys, most of the comments that you left on that video were just, oh my God, this is the most beautiful tree. It is so magnificent, and I totally agree with you. That tree was actually one of the reasons we bought this house. We were shopping for a house for one day, and when we saw this house and I saw this room, because I was looking for a room for my houseplants, and that tree in the backyard, we were sold. Both Michael and I were absolutely in love. And we weren't looking for like a glamorous kitchen or beautiful bathroom or how many rooms there were in the house. We were looking for like plants. So anyways, the first question is from R. Direct, and they ask, I have a Japanese maple, not sure the cultivar because it was on our property when we moved in the house. I noticed the leaves have discoloration on the tips. Have any idea why this would be the case? So there could be many things, but the obvious one that I'm thinking about is wind damage. If you have like a wind tunnel in your backyard or front yard, they really do not like windy spots. Another reason could be drought conditions or exposure to sun. So maybe too much sun where it is planted. So check those 3 first. Now here's another question about the coloring. Natasha Ray is asking, is it normal in the summer for them to go green? This was the first time mine has done that. It's in its 3rd season. Now, it really depends on the cultivar. If you have a green cultivar, it will stay green in the summer and have a fall color in the fall. It also can have a different spring color. Mine is like totally different colors in the spring, summer, and fall. But if it suddenly started being green after being something else, maybe it does not have enough sun exposure. So Japanese maples generally like part shade, part sun location, but to color up better, they actually need a little bit more sun. So ours is in about 6 hours of sun a day, which is perfect for that beautiful coloring. Now here's a question from Botanical Treasures, and Botanical Treasures, thank you so much for watching my channel for so long. There are a couple of subscribers here that have been with me for like the longest time. Thank you so much for sticking with me. But anyway, they ask, I've had problems with squirrels eating the bark. So we don't have squirrel problems in our area. We do have a deer problem. And I think you can deal with squirrels the same way we deal with deer, which is with deer guards. And I will post links down below for the favorite deer guards that I use. I volunteer in our local public park, and we planted probably almost 500 trees in last 8 to 10 years. So we used a lot of different deer guards, and I will post the best ones. I would say Leonard makes really good and sells really good deer guards that will definitely help with squirrels and also rabbits. Now the next set of questions is for the video about the transferring of fish. And I wasn't sure how popular that video was going to be because ponds and aquariums are kind of like specialty items in the garden, but it was very relaxing to watch, I think. So the first question is from Elizabeth Myers, and she says, very interesting video, would love to see the process of how you transfer the fish back outside again. Now, I will definitely make a video because it is a very special time of the year for me where I actually ask my friends' kids to help me transfer the fish. We don't have kids of our own, but I kind of ask other people's children to help me out because it is so much fun. And I don't think that they would have that experience anywhere else where they can take a big net and get fish into a bucket and move them somewhere else. So it's so much fun to watch, and I will definitely do a video about that. Here's a question from Joey M. Does the tank have a filter? And yes, it does. I forgot to mention that in the video, and the filter is, I wrote it down here, Penplex Cascade 1000. So it's like a big thing that is standing next to the aquarium, and it is keeping the water nice and clean for the fish. I also use beneficial bacteria wherever I transfer the fish to the aquarium or from the aquarium to the pond. I swear by it, and I will flash a photo on the screen for you. If you struggle with clean water, whether in your aquarium or in the pond outside, I highly recommend that you get this product. It works amazing. It makes the water so clear. What do you do with the pond outside in the winter? Do you cover it? Do you leave it alone? Just clean it in the spring before you bring the fish back? And then she says that it was like her least favorite job to clean the pond. Completely agree. Hate cleaning the pond. So we actually net it. We do have decent number of trees in the backyard. We have tons of leaves. So netting the pond is like a big deal. So as soon as the fish is going to the aquarium, we just cover the pond with a net, and I will post a link to the net that I like very much. For the pond, it's like almost invisible, so you can still see the architectural detail of the pond. And then in the spring, I do like a quick cleanup because the leaves is the main issue. And then after I do the cleanup, I add some beneficial bacteria to the water, which makes it really clean, and then I transfer the fish back. The next set of questions is about this room, or the tour I gave on this room before the plants moved in and after. Now, the number one question was about the lights that I have over my African violets. And I absolutely love those little lights. They're called Bright Labs LED lights, and I will post the links to them down below. Those lights have 3 spectrums that plants prefer, red, far red, and blue. So they're very inexpensive, and I use them all the time, guys. It's like it changed my indoor plant game. Huge. So if I see a plant struggling, you could just like clip on that one of those lights, and it will make a difference within a couple of weeks. I actually use those lights to start seeds. I use those lights to actually grow some vegetables, even in the winter, like dead winter in the middle of January. If you have those lights, you can grow lettuce, parsley, cilantro, whatever you're interested in. I highly recommend them. Here's a comment rather than a question from the impatient gardener, Erin. Hi, Erin. You are very funny. Erin says, that room is gorgeous. I think you might be able to fit one more plant in there. You know what? I can't. I bought this wonderful fern just to add to my collection, or to make everyone else happy. Here, one more plant. The next question is from Once Upon a Garden, and they ask, beautiful room, what about the bugs? Do you do anything to the plants before you bring them in? I have a hard time bringing big plants inside. Please help. So I think there are 2 questions. One is about the bugs, and another one is about bringing the plants. So about the bugs, there is a video that I did about preparing your houseplants to go back inside for the winter. I will post it down below. If you have bugs appearing in your houseplants in the middle of the winter, which they inevitably will, because of low humidity and low light and of them just being stressed out, I would say prevention is key. Just go around and make sure that you don't have anything appearing on your plants. So it is so much easier to deal with a few bugs than like a whole infestation. And in my plant room, and I will probably do a video about it, I generally deal with mealybugs, white flies, gnats, and some scale. So I prefer like non-spraying methods first. So my first line of defense is just go ahead and wash everything. Like if I see any scale on, let's say, my ficus, I just go ahead and I try to remove it with a sponge, or mealybugs, I try to remove it with cotton swabs. If it's a full infestation, quarantine the plant and spray it with organic spray. And again, I will do a video on that. But preventing any of the problems is probably the biggest line of defense. And creating a higher humidity in your plant room, or using a cloche. I love cloches if you're having your plants in the rest of your house. They are adorable and like part of your decor. They help tremendously with keeping the humidity for your plants. So I think that is it about the bugs. Again, it's a huge topic, so I will probably cover it in one of the videos in the winter. And then I have a hard time bringing big plants inside. I'm thinking physically. So we actually use a cart, like a tree cart. For guys like this Ficus benjamina behind me, it's huge. It is almost 7 feet tall and super heavy. So we have a tree cart that we keep in our garage, and we just pop him in there and go up the stairs, and it rolls quite easily. If you have a lot of big plants, I would say you can invest in one. They are not cheap. They're probably $100, but you know, there's no way we can move so many plants in and out every year without a tree cart. Here's another question, again, about moving plants from one location to another, from Jane Woodhouse. Good morning. Does the large ficus drop leaves when you change locations? Seems like they enjoy where they are and don't adapt to new locations. At least that's my problem. Could it be the light exposure? In my experience with the ficus, I would say it's more the humidity difference than light exposure. These plants really like high humidity. So let's say in our New Jersey humid summers, I had Ficus benjamina outside and we have almost 100% humidity, lovely tropical air in the summer, and then I bring these guys inside where the humidity is 20%. They are not going to be happy. So I try to spray them. I have a couple of humidifiers in this room. So they are fairly happy. I would say they're really happy. As you could tell, I probably have to prune them at some point. Both the variegated variety and the plain green have been doing really well. And I would say dry air is the culprit usually to the leaf drop. Now the next question is from Mustang Hill, and they ask, I noticed you have beautiful healthy African violets. Do you have any tips on their care? Well, what kind of light are those above them? I already addressed the lights, but I only have been growing African violets for a few years, but I really am having a good luck with them, and I think I cracked the code and I understand what they need. The most important thing, I would say, the light, and the light length and intensity matters with African violets. That's why I use those clip-on lights. They really enjoy them. African violets like long daylight. So the longer the daylight is, the more they will bloom. you can have the light on for 12 hours a day and they will bloom for you all year round. So I gave them a little break during like the couple of fall months, and now I'm going to keep them on the 12-hour light schedule to keep them producing a lot of flowers. Now, to produce a lot of flowers, they need a fertilizer, and the one that I've been using is Jack's. I actually have heard other people using other fertilizers, but Jack's seems to be the go-to for African violets, and they really love it. They really enjoy it. They produce beautiful foliage, beautiful flowers. Watering, they're not as fussy as people think. I water them from the top. It's never a problem. I have some African violets that sit in the container without drainage. That's not a problem. I would not recommend that for a beginner, but if you're an experienced plant lover, you can experiment with that. But I can make a separate video about the African violets too. Sorry guys, I had to turn on the light because it started getting really dark, and it's all because of the daylight savings time that nobody seems to like, but we still do it. Now I'm gonna move on to the next video, which is the fall cleanup. And the first question is from Line, and she asks, gorgeous dahlias, great tip to cover them up for frost nights. I love the pink varieties. What is that stunning ornamental grass with the whisks? Now, I think you mean the miscanthus, and miscanthus is a beautiful looking grass. They have a lot of different cultivars that are shorter, larger. They have variegated varieties. They have varieties that bloom earlier in the season and later in the season. They have beautiful winter structure, but they could be invasive in certain areas of the United States. So definitely check before you plant one. I've never had it escape cultivation in my area like other invasive plants. And you would know if you have an invasive plant in your yard because it will pop up everywhere. So like Rose of Sharon or barberry or calorie pear will just seed all over the place. But I've never had miscanthus seed anywhere, and it's pretty well behaved grass. So there's a video that I did last fall on all of the ornamental grasses that I have in my garden. I will post the link down below. And I love grasses. I love that wispy texture, that romantic, relaxed look that it gives to your garden. You should definitely have native grasses in your garden. And maybe some ornamental, as long as they don't escape your garden. Now, last question is from Kathy, and she asks, how does curing help the dahlias? Now, in the video, I cut the dahlia stems to about 6 inches off the ground, and I left them in the ground for about 2 weeks. So what that does, it actually helps the dahlias develop thicker skin, no pun intended, but that thicker skin actually helps them store better over the winter. You can still store your dahlias if you dig them out right away, but you will have better luck if they have that thicker skin because that keeps the moisture and humidity inside the tuber, and they will not dry out as easily over the winter. Alright guys, this is it for today. I hope you enjoy this Q&A video, and let me know if you want me to include videos like this in my regular schedule. But before I go, I just wanted to say thank you to Laura with Garden Answer, who mentioned this channel in one of her videos, and that was just an amazing moment. And I understand that a lot of the new subscribers here are here because of that mention, and I hope I don't disappoint, and I promise I will try really hard to deliver educational, inspirational, interesting, informative content just like Laura does. And to all of my subscribers who have been watching this channel for a long time, thank you so much for sticking with me, and I'm just so grateful for all of your support and for all of your questions and wonderful comments. And anyway, I'm in this very grateful state. So as per usual, if you have any questions or comments, let me know, and I'll see you next time.